Hello viewers, hope you all are good.
In this video, we will visit and explore the Fanshawe Pioneer Village that is an early example of the museum type as a pioneer village, initially developed in mid-20th century by Ontario conservation authorities.
Fanshawe Pioneer Village tells the story of rural communities in the former townships of Westminster, London, North Dorchester, Delaware, West Missouri, and Lobo in Middlesex County from 1820 to 1920 and the founding and development of the City of London up to 1840.
For lovers of history and culture, this video shares a wealth of information, so please keep watching till the end.
Now we have reached the Fanshawe Pioneer Village.
You can see the visitor entrance board in front of us.
This museum explores 100 years of history in London and Middlesex County from 1820 to 1920 through hands-on demonstrations and third-person interpretation.
Fanshawe Pioneer Village is a living history museum located on 46 acres of land within the Fanshawe Conservation Area in London, Ontario.
The village is divided into 4 sections or time periods, which allows you to travel through time as you visit.
The first section is about Fanshawe settlement during 1820 and 1850.
This period tells the story of the impact upon the land and aboriginal people of settlers who immigrated from Europe and other parts of North America to the London area in the first half of the 19th century.
The second section is about Fanshawe corners that developed during 1850 and 1880. This period is representative of the first stage of urban development at transportation crossroads.
Individual efforts continue, often with increased economic reward. At the same time, collaboration with neighbors, usually of similar ethnic background, results in more community facilities and the rise of businesses serving regional needs. Communal effort is not without conflict between and amongst ethnic and religious groups.
The third section is about Fanshawe Township that grew between 1880 and 1910.
During these 3 decades, farming becomes the economic engine which drives development in London and Middlesex County.
The fourth section is about the development of town of Fanshawe during 1910 and 1920. It tells the story of the rapid change that marks the 20th century.
Okay guys, as you can see, this is the spinning wheel, and it takes us back to 19th century, I believe. The same good. Even earlier than that. Okay. So, this village really gives you that touch. So you are traveling back in history. So you feel probably you're somewhere in the 17th or 18th century. 1820, it was 1820, yes, because I have read that history over there. It was a very arduous journey spanning over about 5 months. All the way from Ireland, people came here. Lovely, lovely. So this is the actual, there's a stove also and bonfire, some cooking work going on. Okay.
There is a lot to see and enjoy in this village. The look of these old buildings and structures make you travel in history.
You also enjoy the calm surroundings that make you feel as if time has stopped in this village. So it's a little bit windy over here, but you can see this old village. People used to live here in the 18th century, 19th century, if so. So mesmerizing look, something very fascinating. Different types of houses, probably their workplaces on both sides. This is Log School. School architecture was standardized, and this 1871 school is typical of many in Middlesex County. All grades would be taught together in the one room.
Until the School Act of 1871, school attendance in Ontario was not mandatory.
The focus of early schools was to teach students the skills and social and moral values thought necessary by the majority to become productive members of Canada's growing Anglo-centric society.
This is the Purple Hill Loyal Orange Lodge, number 817, where the first meeting took place in 1857.
The Orange Order is a fraternal organization that was founded in 1795 in Ulster, Ireland by citizens who strongly supported Protestantism and British loyalty through social, economic, and political ties.
The Maple Dance Floor, installed in 1926, contributed to the hall's reputation as the best dance floor in the area. Purple Hill Lodge was the gathering place for meetings and community box socials, dinners, wedding receptions, and of course, dances.
Yes, we're good. How are you?
Welcome to the Village Black.
So, would you like to tell us something about we are tourists? We have no idea about what is this all about.
You've never been to one, eh?
Mm-hmm.
This
No.
is the forge where the fire is.
Okay.
There's a pit,
Mm-hmm.
a pit, and into that we pump air
Mm-hmm.
with a blower to make sure that it burns a little hotter, a little faster.
Okay.
When we get the metal heated up, that's what we're trying to do with the fire.
Okay.
Bring it out here to what's called the anvil
Mm-hmm.
and a hammer.
Mm-hmm.
And you can form it into any shape you want. We make a little bit of artwork stuff here.
Okay.
The
Okay.
blacksmith of the day would have never made
Yes, definitely.
artwork. He would have had enough stuff to do with that.
Yes, you're right. Right. Okay. Thank you for this information. Brilliant. Brilliant. Take care. Bye.
Why not?
Dr. Jones' house. Okay, would you like to tell us something about this house and its history? Mm-hmm.
So this is an example of a rural doctor's house from around 1907.
1907.
1907.
Okay.
So for a little bit of context, that's 7 years before the start of World War I,
Mhm.
and 12 years before the invention of insulin. So you started to get a lot of technological changes happening this time, a lot of medical changes happening this time.
Mm-hmm.
But given that this house would have been in a rural area, those changes would have been a little bit slower to get to a doctor living here.
Okay.
Now, in cities during this time, you would have had multi-level, multi-story hospitals
Mhm.
with specialists, all sorts of different types of doctors. But in rural areas, it essentially would have just been your one rural doctor for about 1,000 patients.
Got it. Got it.
And
Mhm.
they would have been responsible for knowing all different kinds of medicine.
Right.
So,
So there was no specialization basically, just one doctor for every sort of disease.
exactly. So they would have to have a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience
Yes.
in order to kind of do their best.
Mm-hmm.
You folks are welcome to follow me on a side if you
This is Dr. Jones' house that was also used as a hospital in the 19th century. Dr. William Anson Jones was born in Middlesex County on December 21, 1867. He obtained his medical degree from Trinity Medical College in Toronto.
He cared for patients throughout the region and traveled from house to house by horse and buggy.
Patients. And this room would have been the kitchen that would have actually doubled as the operating room. So, you can see this room is quite sparse. There's not a lot of decoration here. That's because if you were doing your surgeries, your operations here, you would not want to put your very fancy.
And you told me this was also kitchen and it was used partly as an operation theater.
Yes.
Oh, great.
So there's only one table in here, so your kitchen table would have been your operating table. And it was also really important that you had access to the stove as well. So in the late 1800s, people started to get an awareness of germ theory and understood that sanitizing equipment, sterilizing equipment was probably best to keep people safe, to keep things clean. So to have access to that stove, to have access to that boiling water, to do that was really important to have in the upper room.
Okay. Perfect. So probably this room would contain medicines and all that in those days. Okay, the pantry. Okay.
So this is the pantry that I like to say is a little bit like a pharmacy. So in addition to being all different kinds of doctors, the rural doctor also would have been your pharmacist.
Pharmacist, yes.
So you did still have chemical medicines kind of coming into use at this point in time. They were not like Advil or Tylenol or things that we're used to having now. And there wasn't really a very well established governing body to kind of demonstrate the effectiveness of those medications, to demonstrate, or I guess kind of to moderate what was going into them. And you have a lot of what we call snake oil salesmen coming up and saying, oh, this medicine will magically cure this, when they didn't necessarily.
This is Thomas Elder's weaving shed that was built in the Middlesex County in 1857.
He had apprenticed as a weaver before emigrating to Canada and planned to supplement his income during the winter months with the weaving of rugs, horse blankets, and cloth.
This is the Peel House owned by London-born and internationally renowned artist Paul Peel, who was born in 1860 and died in 1992. He lived in this house during his childhood.
Originally located at 238 Richmond Street, London, the Peel House was moved to the village in 1963 to escape demolition and is recognized as a site of national historic significance by the Historic Sites and Monuments Board of Canada. To some artist, we just... Okay. Paul Peel.
First internationally recognized artist. He lived here for a few years as a child.
Oh, I see. Can we have a look from inside? So this house belongs to that artist, Mr. Paul, and you can see his belongings lying over there. He must be fond of playing piano, as you can see, lamp and everything. This is his living room or dining room, as you call it. Dolls or his kids probably. This is the dining table. You see a stove and of course crockery, the back side. तो ये जनाब ज़बरदस्त इनका सब कुछ उस दौर की चीज़ें.
This is the Jury farmhouse that was built in 1888 by William Jury Jr. for his son Amos on the occasion of his marriage to Julia, the daughter of weaver Thomas Elder.
This building belongs to probably the family name outside.
Yeah, so this is the Jury house, which means that the Jury family did live inside this home. And it was a wedding present given to Amos and Julia Jury in 1888 when they got married.
Okay.
And so at this point, by the 1880s, we now have new farming equipment, and so that means that family sizes can get a lot smaller. So this family actually only had 2 children. So they had Wilfred and Irene.
Okay.
Irene grows up. She gets married. She has a good life. Wilfred grows up. He decides not to become a farmer. He becomes a historian, and he actually starts this village. So
Okay.
the founding curator lived inside this home, which makes it a little bit different. So you can sit on
Okay,
here,
okay, thank
right?
you.
I'll have you pull that mask up above your nose.
Okay, thank you. So this is the Jury house. जैसे बताया उन्होंने कि बेटे की शादी हुई तो बाप ने फिर घर उसको बना के तोहफे में दिया. ये उसका देखें बेड साइड पे पड़ा, ये टेबल है, ये स्विंग मशीन आपको नज़र आ रही है.
This is
लिविंग रूम और क्रॉकरी और सब कुछ
So
नज़र.
what makes this house different is the fact that not only did Wilfred inherit the home, he also inherited the furniture inside. So most of the furniture inside inside is actually accurate to the home and to the family. Whereas our other homes, we are using time period appropriate furniture, but it may not have belonged to that family, as well as we are guessing how they would have set up their home.
I see. Good.
Yep, that is the kitchen. So the floor there begins to change. So that actually was an addition made to the home 2 years later in 1890. And that's not the original stove, because we cook on all of our stoves, so we needed a new one there.
Okay.
But they still don't have electricity in this home, and they're still using wood-burning stoves, and they still do not have a bathroom inside this home.
Oh, so in those days they would use bathroom outside in the fields.
Outhouses.
Houses. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, thank you for.
Well, enjoy the village.
Yes, we are enjoying it.
सुपरमैन की मूवी में कैंट पास करना वहाँ ये डायरेक्शन के लिए ना डायरेक्शन देती है वहाँ था तो ये रिजेंबल कर रहा है इसलिए मैंने आपको कहा कि ये देखो This is the harness shop, a replica of the 19th century building.
The harness and saddler trades were essential to the early pioneers, who were expected to fulfill their settlement duties by clearing land for farming and roadways. Harnesses for oxen and horses were especially important as they allowed for the efficient use of an animal's strength to push and pull heavy loads such as plowing and pulling tree stumps.
This is the Harmer sawmill that was originally built in 1885.
Sawmills were one of the first industries to arrive in Ontario, as these businesses offered an alternative to hand-hewn logs by producing sawn lumber. Early mills were often established along rivers and logs were floated down to them. As the industry grew, railways took over the transportation of raw materials.
Look at this old truck. Just close your eyes and imagine this truck plying on narrow dirt roads of the 19th century.
J.T. Dinsmore built the Danfield General Store in a community originally known as Brecon in 1877. The name of the village was later changed to Danfield, as a town with a similar name already existed. The shop features large windows to provide light and to showcase merchandise. An overhanging balcony was built to shelter goods as they were transferred to and from wagons on the street.
ये डबल कैरमल मैग्नम मैंने यहाँ से बाई की है और अब हम इसको टेस्ट करते हैं कि इसका टेस्ट भी ओल्ड डेज वाला है या नया है। हमारा विलेज टूर कंप्लीट हो गया और अब हम देखते हैं और क्या यहाँ पे है अट्रैक्शन लंदन में, तो हम उधर चलते हैं। तो लेट्स गो टुगेदर।